A rainy Tuesday night, a cramped kitchen, and she spoke into the dark as if the room itself could answer, "Thank you for the job that has not called yet." The words sounded absurd against the hiss of the kettle and the smell of wet cardboard, and then her phone vibrated against the counter like a small, insistent drum. Gratitude as reaction is what everyone taught you. Gratitude as cause feels wrong and risky and almost like lying to yourself. Yet that small scene contains the paradox that will change how you practice appreciation forever. Stay with me now, and you will get a clear map, a story that shows the turn, the science that explains the chemistry and field shifts, and a simple 5-minute protocol you can start tomorrow to align your body and your timeline. This is not vague mysticism. Institutions that study cardiac coherence and biofeedback show measurable shifts when someone moves into authentic appreciation. So what if the thing that slows your manifestations is not technique, but the way you relate to the absence itself? Breathe, listen to your chest, and imagine for a second that you can thank what is not yet here without pretending. We will walk a story, the research, and hands-on practice now so you can feel how the field responds. Let us name the principle so we can work with it. Gratitude before result is not superstition, it is a frequency adjustment. Frequency in this context is the consistent pattern of thought, feeling, and bodily rhythm you radiate into your environment. Resonance is the match between that pattern and external possibilities. When your inner pattern is chaotic or desperate, your field is noisy, and potential events smear across many possible outcomes. When you stabilize a coherent, appreciative pattern, you narrow the range, making certain outcomes more likely. The language here borrows from physics but stays practical. Think of vibration as habitual emotion, and coherence as alignment between nervous system and intention. Why does this matter? Because the observer effect in experiments reminds us that measurement changes systems, and neuroscience shows that emotion changes hormone cascades. If gratitude can adjust neural circuits and heart rhythm, then it is not only a polite response, it is a practical lever. Ask yourself, what if, instead of proving the result, you practiced receiving it? If you want proof, the kind that tilts a skeptic toward trial, look to studies on heart-brain communication and neuroplasticity. Research from groups that monitor heart rhythm coherence finds that when people enter sincere appreciation, their heart rate variability patterns become more ordered, the vagal tone increases, and people report clearer cognitive processing. In parallel, experimental work in attention and expectation shows dopamine pathways respond to perceived certainty and prediction. Gratitude before outcome acts like a prediction signal to your neurology that narrows expected outcomes and prioritizes certain reward pathways. Heart-centered coherence reduces cortisol and changes sensory gating, so perception is less threat-oriented and more opportunity. This is not to say that a feeling will replace action. It changes chemistry, which then changes perception, which then changes behavior, and therefore the feedback loop that interacts with other people and circumstances. Think of a clinic where biofeedback training helped patients lower blood pressure by shifting breathing and attention. The pattern is identical to the gratitude practice we will use. So yes, both heart math concepts and basic neurobiology support the idea that internal states materially influence external trajectories. Now translate that into images that stick. Picture a tuning fork struck near a bowl of water. At first, the water is flat and indifferent. The fork vibrates and the surface begins to hum, rings forming and overlapping until a single pattern emerges. Your nervous system is the fork, your attention is the strike, and the world of opportunities is the water. Or imagine a radio dial. You do not need to force the song into existence. You need to tune the receiver so that when the station plays, you hear it loud and clear. A third image, gravity as social pull. When your emotional center aligns with confidence and gratitude, you create a small gravitational field that influences small objects near you, meaning cues and decisions in other people. These metaphors are not spherical truths, but they are useful. They help you see that gratitude before result is a tuning process, not a magic trick. If you tune the fork daily, your environment will begin to resonate with those frequencies. How does practice look in the kitchen of real life? Start with a micro ritual you can do in 5 minutes. Sit, place your hand over your heart, breathe slowly in and out on a count of 4, feel the rise and fall, and say aloud a sentence that presumes the outcome as if it is already present. Thank you for my next client, or thank you for the healing that is unfolding in my body. Use sensory anchors. Notice the weight of your hand, taste of air, a sound in the room, the warmth around your chest, the light on your eyelids. Repeat for 1 to 2 minutes and then write one sentence in your journal that names a small next step you can take today toward that outcome. That combination of felt gratitude plus practical movement collapses the distance between vibration and behavior. To make this concrete, here is a scripted dialogue you can try with a friend as coaching practice. Scene 1. Maya sits at a table with Leo across from her. I feel ridiculous, Maya says, stirring her tea. What if this is all fantasy? Leo leans forward. Try the wording, he says. Say it as if it is true. Okay, Maya breathes. Thank you for the client who will value my work. How does your chest feel? Leo asks. Warmer, she says. My shoulders dropped. Notice anything else? The tea tastes sweeter. Good, Leo answers. Now send that feeling to one part of your body that usually tightens. This back and forth includes 8 small exchanges and 5 sensory notes, so you feel anchored, not glossed. You can practice with podcasts or read aloud if a partner is not available. If you try it, you will face resistance. 2 major enemies block the loop: doubt and identity. The first tension moment is internal. You will notice a memory that says proving is necessary. A scene returns where a parent or teacher told you not to celebrate before the test. The resistance feels like a cold voice in the throat and a tightening behind the eyes. You may start a mental list of reasons this will not work. That inner argument is loud because it is tied to survival predictions. In that moment, use the simple algorithm. Acknowledge the doubt, feel it in the body, and then do the gratitude micro-ritual while setting one tiny action for the day. The second tension moment is social. A colleague named Sam might laugh, or Dr. Rivera may ask for metrics before you claim results. When the world demands proof, you must calibrate public behavior with private practice. Say to Sam, I am experimenting, and to Dr. Rivera, I will show you progress in 2 weeks. Those 2 moments each run about a paragraph length of dense emotional work, and together they teach you how to hold the feeling while still acting. Pause here and connect with the community. I want you to take a breath and write a comment below using exactly one of these 2 options. If you have tried gratitude before an outcome, write I thanked before. If you have never tried it but will start today, write I will try today. I read these comments to learn what helps people move from theory to practice, and I select stories to feature in future episodes. If you are frustrated because you tried and it did not stick, write that too. Share one sentence about what blocked you. Your comment matters because it builds a living data set of experiments from this audience. It also helps others see they are not alone. After you leave the comment, come back into this video because the next sections give techniques to stabilize the state so it is not a one-off. Now we build momentum. The gratitude loop works like this. You feel appreciation, which brings heart-brain coherence, which subtly changes your decisions and language, which then alters other people and circumstances, which brings micro-results, which feed appreciation again. Think of it as a spiral rather than a circle. Small changes compound. I will tell 2 short examples. In one, Jonah, an independent designer, started a morning micro-ritual and then rewrote his outreach emails in a tone that presumed reciprocity. Within a month, Marcus, a recurring client, responded with a larger contract. In another example, Elena, who had chronic pain, added the practice to her physical therapy routine and reported a measurable decrease in perceived pain and an increased ability to do daily tasks 3 months later. These stories include reactions from friends Priya and Sam, who noticed shifts and offered concrete help. Across these cases, names matter. Because people respond to people. Mentioning Leo, Maya, Jonah, Elena, Marcus, and Dr. Rivera anchors the narrative in social reality and shows how small shifts ripple through networks. Before we close, 2 brief practical tests you can run. Test 1. The 5-minute gratitude primer every morning for 7 days. Track one metric like number of opportunities or a mood rating. Test 2. A social experiment. Thank in private for an outcome, then ask one trusted person for a small favor, framed as if the favor is already aligned with your goal. Record responses. These small tests create empirical curiosity rather than dogma. If you want deeper work, there is a guided workbook and a short course that walks you through a 21-day protocol with audio cues and journaling prompts. The workbook is in the description if you want it. No pressure, it is optional and priced to be accessible. Now imagine 3 timelines and how this will look. In 1 month, you will notice microsigns, maybe a message, maybe a clearer idea, maybe less anxiety around the outcome. In 3 months, you will have a pattern. Your nervous system will show more coherence at baseline, your decisions will be different and more aligned, and you will begin to see consistent small results that were absent before. In 6 months, the field around you changes. People begin to seek you out for the very outcomes you practiced, as if you had sent a signal and the world responded. Visualize this with details. 1 month from now, Maya receives an email that says, "We would like to interview you." She feels the same kettle hum and taste of rain, but now the sound is anticipation. 3 months from now, Jonah has 2 steady contracts and notices his calendar looks fuller, his bank app shows different numbers, and the color of his mornings changes. 6 months from now, Elena walks farther without pain and hosts a dinner where friends Priya and Marcus comment on her presence. These epilogues are not magical proof, but plausible projections based on repeated practice and small behavioral changes. Keep a journal that marks day 1, day 30, day 90, and day 180. Record both inner sensations and outer events. That log becomes your personal experiment. To finish, do this 30-second exercise now. Place your hand on your chest, breathe in for 4 counts, hold 1 second, breathe out for 4 counts. Say out loud, "Thank you for what is coming," and feel one small physical change, like a loosened jaw or a softer eye. If you commit to this practice daily, write "I will try today" in the comments so we can track your progress. If this video helped you, consider subscribing. Here we combine story, practical experiments, and scientific framing to give you tools, not platitudes. If you want the guided workbook and audio cues, check the link in the description. Remember this final line and carry it with you. Gratitude is not only a reply, it is the tuning fork that shapes your next arrival.